there's a plea deal, could Andrea waltz free tomorrow on probation? Our sources are telling us it could happen. Heather Hansen, you're shaking your head.
Jane, I don't think so. You know, there's 13 different charges that are still going to be pressed against her. The perjury charges, the concealment charges, and those charges carry a sentence from 5 to 10 years. If she's found guilty on even some of those charges, I think she will serve some time.
Wendy Murphy, we've heard from a source that there might be a plea deal going on, a plea bargain, where everything is wrapped up in a neat little bow and she gets to waltz out on probation.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for so many reasons, including that despite Hemi Newman and his lawyer essentially promising that he would take the stand and blame her at the end of his trial, that didn't happen. The prosecution is stuck. And even if she got convicted after trial, she has no criminal record. Would she really go to prison? Look, the best thing for I think the victim's family is to let her plead guilty, because who knows what the real backstory is. Is she preparing to say ugly things about the victim? Is she going to air the dirty laundry of this family? Putting it all to rest now saves everybody a lot of grief.
Jay Apt, you're the attorney for Andrea Sneiderman's former best friend, who is no longer her best friend. How do you think your client and the family of the victim, Rusty Sneiderman, would feel if, and they have said unequivocally, the family of the victim, that they think she has blood on her hands, is how they put it, if she were to waltz out of court tomorrow on probation as a free woman?
I think they're already horrified that the most serious charges have been dropped. I would imagine that the Sneiderman family is horrified, and that they're very upset that she's basically going to walk. And you know, as for Shayna, yeah, I think there's a fair amount of trepidation that Andrea is getting away with this serious crime. I do want to comment on the fact that, you know, she could walk out of court tomorrow. I've had a lot of cases in front of Judge Adams, who's the judge in this case. He's a very serious judge. He's a no-nonsense judge. And even if the DA and Andrea's attorney strike a deal, I don't think Judge Adams is going to seal any deal where there's no prison time. So I think she's got to do some time if she's going to plead to some of these perjury counts. And you know, I don't, you know, a lot of people have speculated that she could, in theory, do 110 years because there's 13 remaining counts.
Oh, please,
but
not if they drop the murder charges. That's not
right.
realistic.
That's right. That's right.
And maybe probation isn't realistic either. But, you know, why is she under house arrest? She's been under house arrest. If they think she really orchestrated his murder, why isn't she in the slammer like everybody else who doesn't live in a big house? And I'd like to throw that at Brian Silber.
Well, Jane, you know, it really depends on a lot of factors. And it sounds to me like this case has a very serious evidentiary problem, because why else would prosecutors be dropping charges in the 9th hour and talking about plea bargains? You don't file a RICO indictment that alleges malicious murder to give probation. You know, it tells me their case is falling apart, and I think that's something that they probably even knew way back when. I would even bet further that her house arrest was done by stipulation between the parties, because you're right, someone who has a serious charge like this doesn't typically get out on bond.